Go ahead and without further ado, I've gone ahead and started the recording here. So I want to say welcome to a couple of special guests that we have tonight. Joe Stone and Harold. Harold Roscoe, they're good friends of mine. Some of you might have met me through them because they've actually supported me on a lot of my products. And I've supported them on a lot of the stuff that they do because they're really stand-up guys. I know Joe and Harold both are actually living the dream, just like you and I. They all have their own business where they work with local customers, just like you and I, or maybe some of you that are just getting started and you want to get out there and you want to find customers. And one of the things that I love about Joe and Harold is that they're doing it big, okay? They're not just, playing this part, a little bit like you see some of these guys that put out products and don't really have any customers. These guys actually do this on a daily basis, so their ear is to the ground. They know exactly what's going on. They're in the trenches every day. So I want you to do me a favor, give them the exact same courtesy as you would give me. Pay completely close attention to this because I'm going to be honest with you. I learned everything that I learned about Google Plus from Joe. And they literally sat down and filled me in on stuff that I personally didn't even know. So they really blew me away, and I know they're going to blow you away. I'll be sticking around, so if you have questions, I'll try to field those questions if that's okay with you guys, Harold and Joe. Other than that, without too much further ado, welcome, guys.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for the nice introduction. And sure, if you see questions that are popping in that you can answer, absolutely fire away. And
I like to chime in just a little bit, just so everybody knows I'm still here. This isn't a recording. I'm not, one of those guys that lets you guys play like an intro. I've heard that happen. I don't know how they do it. So that's part of the reason why I don't. No, I'm just kidding. But I just want you guys to know I'm here, and this is just as exciting for me as it is for all of you that are here.
Awesome. Much appreciated, Mark. Let's dive right in. And I just want to kind of show, put a face to a name, or in a name and a face to a voice. That's me on the left. I'm Joe. And you're going to hear from my partner, Harold, my business partner, Harold, as we go throughout the training. And let me just back up one slide. And this is completely legitimate, guys. You guys are if you are been shying away from Google Plus, or you're not exactly sure what it is, or you're afraid of joining another social network because you're spread too thin, I'll tell you right now that this is going to be at the forefront of everything moving forward. And with that being said, I'm going to start off by asking you guys a question. Are you ready to get more clients, more traffic, and build a loyal following by doing a few simple things? Now, I want to make this presentation very interactive. So the more interactive you guys are, the more free stuff we give away, the better people learn, and just the cooler experience it is for everybody. So I just want to cover briefly what we're going to cover here. We're going to show you guys why Google Plus is the key to exploding your business growth. As I just mentioned, everything is trending to Google Plus. We have 3 case studies from our members that we're going to break down for you. Guys, the proof is in these people's results.
We all love case studies, Joe.
Awesome, right? There's no way around a case study. It's not theory, basically. It's practical. It's I liken it to when I was in college, and you have biology lecture and you have biology lab. You fall asleep in lecture. I was wired, ready to go in lab, getting hands-on, seeing the stuff actually work. That's what I like. We're going to cover the #1 method that each of our members used and the domino effect that this creates, and then a lot more. Like Mark was just saying, folks, pay attention, because what you're about to see, this stuff flat out works. And again, we're going to show you the proof. The main strategy you're going to learn can be implemented immediately following the training, and if done properly, can get you some awesome results. Now, I know we're very offline heavy here with Mark's folks today, but this training is for offliners and onliners. It really boils down to, if you use Google, this training's for you, so be sure to take notes. And I kind of just want to get this out of the way. Now, don't worry, this isn't just another silly rehashed SEO training or any other kind of training that has the shelf life of a carton of milk that's been left out in the Arizona heat, right? That basically it's not a loophole that's going to get plugged up within a day or a week or anything like that. Everything is completely above board, and it's amazing what we're able to do as marketers. In fact, there's many benefits. Like I just said, it really is a domino effect, and one positive result happens to just be top results, top listings. We do encourage you guys to ask questions as we go throughout, so light the box up. Ask your questions as we're going through, and if we don't get to you right away, then we'll get to you at the end. But first, I want to ask a few questions of you, and this is the part where I want to see that question box with your guys' answers. Who is your primary email service provider? Now, what I mean by that is, what's your email account? Where do you go to get your email account? Gmail, 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 of course, right? All right, so I have a couple more questions, and keep the answers coming. Where do you watch most of your videos online? What website do you go to watch all your videos online?
This is loaded.
YouTube.
All of these questions seem to be loaded.
They are a little bit loaded, but it's going to frame everything.
I see where you're headed already.
Right. All right. What maps service do you use on your computer and your mobile device? When you guys need directions, where do you guys go? You guys go to Google Maps? Right? We have one Apple Maps in there. Actually, Apple Maps is actually going to be switching back to Google Maps, if you can believe that or not, Gene. And then one last question for you guys here. Where do you search for things online? When you guys go on the internet and you're looking for something, where do you go and search? Of course, Google, right? And like I just said, most people's answers were Gmail, YouTube, Google Maps, and Google. Now, what do all these services have in common? Sure, Google owns them all, but more importantly, these are services that you guys are using daily, and you're very familiar with them. But most importantly, the vast majority of your potential customers and your potential website visitors use them daily, and the ones that aren't using them today will start soon. It is completely inevitable. Do you see what I'm kind of getting at here? I'm talking about positioning, folks. Go to where the people are. This helps you get more business, more traffic, and build that loyal following that I was mentioning a minute ago. Do you want to see how you can do this? It's really very simple. The one thing that ties all of Google's users and your future success together is, what are we here for, guys? We're here for Google+. Now, basically what I just wanted to do right there was to kind of bring the obvious to the forefront. You're already using every service that Google has. This is the thing that ties it together, and this is the thing that allows us to make money with it in a way that's never been done before. So why Google+? It seamlessly integrates into everyday life. It's very painless. If there's no barrier, there's no threshold, there's no new technology you need to learn. It is so simple to use, and like I said, you're pretty much already using it already now. It allows you to shine in your marketplace. Getting new clients has never been easier when you know what you're doing with Google+. It brilliantly positions you like no other internet company can. Excuse me. Why? Because it's the largest search engine in the world, and it has the biggest mobile platform in the world. For those folks, for those iPhone lover folks, I was one of them. Android is the biggest mobile platform in the world now. It directly influences Google's search results. You can especially dominate local search with incredibly fast results, and we're going to show you just in one of our case studies, we're going to show you this. And it gives us marketers early adopter love that you're going to be seeing in our members case study. And what I mean by early adopter, Google Plus has been around for about 1.5 years now, maybe a little bit longer. But just within like the last 12 weeks, like you heard me right, 12 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, it has really gone into super overdrive, and us marketers that are savvy enough to pick up on this stuff, it's like playing in a candy store. It's really that fun. And folks, your audience is already there, and they're waiting for you, whether they know it or not. And just one last side note, this is a recent article from the end of January. Google Plus surpasses Twitter to become the second largest social network in the world. Now, what's the third largest? That's YouTube. So you kind of see how the people are there. Now, are you starting to kind of picture, just what I just said, how you can get more clients with using Google+? It puts you in the right spot. You're easily to gain marketplace authority. The benefits are really endless. Now, let's get into these case studies. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to the marketing backgrounds of each person as we go to the case study. We're going to start off with Kyle. Kyle's been an offline marketer for 5 months. He joined our membership site in December. He watched our bite-sized videos, and what I mean by bite-sized videos is our videos are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes a piece. Get in, get out, get the point, and take action. Here's the results that Kyle got. That's a $3,000 check for web consulting. Folks, web consulting is the creme de la creme, in my opinion. That's the part where you basically just tell the business owner what they need to do, and then they go find other people to do it. Or you can help them find those other people, connect the dots, and you can charge an even higher fee. Consulting is really, it's the upper echelon of an offline marketer, in my opinion.
I have to agree with you 100% on that, because not having to do all of the things that you think need to be done, it saves you a lot more time to go find more people to give you those checks. So,
right?
100% agree.
And not to mention, those checks are bigger.
And a lot less headache.
Right.
Because I love to talk, and I will sit there and talk someone's ear off and show them everything that I need to show them. It's so much nicer than having to deal with some, programmers in India if you can get away with it. No offense to all of my programmers that are here from India.
But it's time consuming, It really is. So he was able to get 3 new clients, totaling $5,000 within his first month being with us. And there you go, just to kind of point out, that one client was at $3,000. What Kyle did, he went through our training. He used our client snag method. Now, this is a course within our membership site that's completely, it's not a Warrior Forum product. It's not a standalone product. Well, it is a standalone product, but we wanted to incorporate it into our Google Plus training because it's so congruent. It fits in seamlessly to the overall Google Plus approach. Why is that? Because this client snag method is 100% used in Google Plus. There's no cold calling. There's no emailing in terms of, well, there's no mailing in terms of postage fees or anything. There's no additional costs. The client that paid Kyle the $3,000 for his consulting work was a simple website upgrade, a Google Plus local listing, a Google Plus profile and business page, and then on the back end of that, he gets a piece of the ongoing monthly SEO services just from being a consultant. He basically wielded his brain power, his expertise, and is able to siphon some monthly money from the actual person who's doing the SEO.
I got a question. Now, Joe, is he billing them for this SEO, or does the SEO company bill and just pay him? How's that work?
What happened was the business owner wanted Kyle to help get him the right people. And so part of the agreement was, I'll get you the right people, but on the monthly stuff, on the monthly fees, I have to get a part of that. So what they did was,
got it.
Each month, basically there's 2 invoices that go out each month, one for the business owner and one for Kyle, so to speak, right? And then Kyle's paid on his end, and, well, the service provider's paid on his end, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Right. So Kyle's bottom line, kind of just summarizing what we just went through. Kyle had a slim 5 months of offline marketing experience under his belt. All he did was follow our simple step-by-step videos, and he implemented what he learned. Now, what would you do? Or let me back up. Would you like to bank $5,000 in the next 30 days like Kyle? And these are questions that I know they're a bit rhetorical, but this is the interactive part. Like let's see the box light up.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, they're flying through, of course. I know, like I said, guys, it's a little bit rhetorical, but it helps you guys keep your focus, keep your attention, and the more interactive, again, the more free stuff we're giving away at the end. Again, think about what you would do with that money, even if it's 2,000 bucks, even if it's $3,000, whatever it is. That's a lot of money. So let's get into case study 2. Carol is a retired woman and is new to the internet. Not internet marketing, folks, but the internet in general. Like, she's barely figuring out email and stuff like that. Carol was using a blogging platform as her primary source of online traffic. She literally had no results and only a handful of visitors, and she started this in July of last year, and she joined up with us in December. So she went at it for about 6 months. It had only a handful of visitors to show for it. And let me tell you, this lady is persistent. She's blogging every day. She's doing video stuff, and she's following the system, but it just wasn't working out for her. She joined us. She watched the videos. She took action, and then this happened. Boom. That's Carol sitting in the 3rd spot on page 1 of Google.
She
There
sends
she
me
is right there.
messages all the time.
Yeah, she's very, like I said, she's very active, right? Like that's what I'm saying. She's very persistent. So it wasn't for her lack of trying that she wasn't getting the results. A lot of people know Carol. So what did Carol do? She used our Google Plus Pro, our G Plus Pro training to get her picture in the search engines. She implemented our instant page 1 training, and in less than 24 hours, she grabbed that number 3 spot on page 1. So that picture right there of page 1 came in less than 24 hours of her setting some stuff up. Now, this is a direct quote from Carol. Let me just kind of read through this really fast. Your training got me to the 3rd position on page 1 in Google in less than 24 hours. I'm still having trouble believing my eyes. I just checked again, and I'm still in the number 3 spot. I'm so excited. I just keep hopping around. Just unbelievable. Your guys' stuff works. Now, the bottom line with Carol, with virtually zero online marketing experience, she leveraged the power of Google Plus to get to the 3rd position on the 1st page of Google in literally a few hours without employing any advanced SEO tactics. This is the power of Google Plus, and this is what I'm talking about, how it's never been easier to do some certain things. Now, if you had a super easy way to get your content ranked on page 1 on a continuous basis, what would you charge for that service? Would you charge more than what you're charging now? Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Wade, but it's for any search term when you do this specific method. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Keith. Once you basically control the keys to the kingdom, you can kind of charge whatever you want. Kind of like with Kyle and his consulting. When you have these kinds of methods, and folks, this is 100% white hat. Nothing is out of bounds. Nothing's even close to being gray. Everything's done inside of Google, so we're not doing any tricks here. And then let's get into the 3rd case study. This is Rebecca. Rebecca's a working mom of 2, and she wanted to get online to make a few extra bucks. So she heard about this thing called affiliate marketing. She researched it, figured out what it was, and then she kind of got started. Well, she spent tons of time learning kind of like nonsense stuff, setting up sites, crappy traffic methods, article writing, all these kinds of things. She was basically doing the guru dance, and basically what that is, it's the cat chasing the tail. You're really not getting anywhere. You're on the hamster wheel. She did make a few sales, but she never got enough traffic to really amount to anything. Now, this is a before shot of Rebecca that she sent in to us. This is over the course of about a 2-month period, and her total visitors were 275, but the most important stat out of that was 191 of those 275 were unique visitors. Now, this is a 2-month period. Now, this is Rebecca's traffic screen grab in her analytics after she started working with us and doing some Google Plus Pro stuff. And let's see, now she has 431 total visitors, and 302 of them are unique. Now, it's important to point out that her traffic is more now of a steady flow, and this traffic grab here, these 302 unique visitors, came over a course of 1 month, not 2 months. So what did Rebecca do? She implemented our core foundation training, and she applied some advanced strategies. She did things like set up her authorship. She built out her profile. She did some advanced circle building stuff, which is just absolutely killer. It's unbelievable what you can do with circles. She used one of our list building techniques called G Plus List Builder Pro. So now she's building a highly engaged list with 100% email inbox deliverability because it's Google Plus going to Gmail. They're not going to spam their own stuff. Kind of just makes sense, right? And then she utilized our instant page one rankings similar to what Carol did. Now the bottom line for Rebecca is she's a working mother of two. With only the basics of internet marketing, she was able to have a breakthrough. She understood that traffic and eyeballs to her sites is the lifeblood of any internet marketing business. Without it, you're dead in the water. Rebecca's well on her way to becoming a Google Plus Pro, and her traffic stats are really only getting better. That traffic stat, again, that was a month of working with us, and now she's in month 3, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what would you do, guys, if you could boost your traffic by 300% in the next 30 to 60 days? Now, take that and put that to your clients. What would you do if you can say, you know what? This is what I'm able to do. And you know why I'm able to do it? Because I did it for this person, and this person.
That's the number one thing people want, Joe, is traffic, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the number one reason why they want to be on the first page of Google is they think they're going to get traffic. So I think if you were to offer something like that, I don't know if that was a rhetorical question, but I think that you're going to have them floored.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Hello, Mark? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Joe. Keep going.
Yeah, I thought we just had a little bit of a drop there. Exactly, right? Traffic is the number one thing, and there's a couple different components on how to use Google Plus to really make traffic not nearly as difficult as it used to be in terms of getting it, especially with the local stuff, guys. It's really cool. Now, did you guys pay attention to the backgrounds of each marketer? I hope you guys did, and if you didn't, I'm going to kind of summarize it for you really quickly here. Those 3 people basically started from scratch, and you saw the results that they're getting. And this is really only the beginning for them. These folks, they just joined up in December, and we're at the end of, it's basically like 2.5, 3 months for these folks, and they're barely getting ramped up. The hardest thing about this business is getting out of the gates. Once you get out of the gates and you gain a bit of momentum, things just seem to click. Now, can you see yourself in their shoes, getting more traffic, getting more clients, getting top rankings, and hopefully becoming, our next big success story? That's the thing that when Mark was talking about when he was introducing us at the beginning, when, yeah, we are in this, we do this for a living, and people were asking, what are you guys doing? Like, put together, some type of course, and that's basically how G Plus Pro came about. But it really makes us feel awesome. And I know, Mark, I want you to come out and give me your 2 cents on this. But when your customers are actually learning from it, and then ultimately making money, putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, all that kind of stuff, the basics of human life. What's that like, Mark, when you get a testimonial coming in from, success that your people are having?
There's no way to describe it. It's the best feeling in the world.
It really is, right? Like, these people, they gave you their money, they give you their time to go through your material, and when they do it, it's almost like one of your kids, hitting his first home run or something like that. It's really kind of one of those feelings like, wow, it never gets old. Now, I want to bring Harold out. Folks, we're going to show you, he's going to show you what each of our members do on day 1. This is big, and this is a self-portrait of Harold right here. Bam. Look at
Thanks, Joe.
that. He's
Joe
looking
never gets
sharp,
tired of
doesn't
that.
he? I really don't. I'm going to give you the presentation. Um, there you,
Fantastic. All right.
there you go.
So thanks, Joe. So Joe's shown us sort of the theory, what is possible basically with Google Plus. Well, obviously, what some of our members were done, we feel that's the best way to demonstrate and relate. Oftentimes, is to give some live examples of some results that have happened with our members, and these are sort of comparable things that we believe a lot of you on the line are into in terms of offline marketing. We're going to shift gears now, and I'm going to start walking you through some hands-on stuff, some nuts and bolts action that you can take to start working with Google Plus. All right, so I'm going to first start with a quote. This is from Eric Schmidt. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He's a very important person over there at the Google Corporation. And in his upcoming book, this is what he writes. Within search results, information tied to verified online profiles will be ranked higher than content without such verification, which will result in most users naturally clicking on the top verified results. The true cost of remaining anonymous, then, might be irrelevance. What he is saying is if you don't start tying your Google Plus profile to the content that you distribute on the internet, Google is not going to like you too much, and you're going to start dropping down in the search results. That's reading between the lines. So how do you tie what you publish on the internet to your content? It's something called the Google Authorship Program. All right, and this is completely intertwined with Google+. Authorship is the foundation of how Google+ works. If there's only one thing you do this week, it is setting up your Google+ authorship, and this is what it looks like. If you know who Matt Cutts is, you'll know that's not actually a picture of Matt. I swapped it out because I think it's funny. In any case, this is what authorship looks like. When you do a search now, you're starting to see people's pictures pop up in the search results next to their content, and this does a bunch of really, really cool thing. The bottom line with it is the G plus domino effect I'm going to demonstrate to you here all starts with authorship, okay? Using Google authorship, your profile image, as I just showed, will show up into the SERPs. What does this do? It's going to increase your traffic by 20 to 30%. These aren't our numbers, these are Google's numbers, all right? It's going to draw attention to your site no matter what. If there's 4 or 5 listings on page 1 and yours is the only one with a picture next to it, meaning you're the only one that is coming out and saying, hey, this is my content, I'm proud of it, here's my picture, what do you think people are going to click on? All right, if they're going to get drawn to the picture with your next to your content. And this instantly builds credibility and authority by having your image next to your content. You're not hiding behind anything. You're saying, here I am, here's my content, all right? It also starts to build up something called your Google author stats or author rank, and I'm going to touch on more of that in a little bit, all right? Here's a quick quote or saying from Hakeem. He's in our G Plus Pro community here. He used authorship, and his point number 2 here says, my ranking is number 2 in the UK and number 8 in the US, and see the picture. And there's this picture down there below. Now, he did incorporate some other SEO stuff, but using Google authorship, he is showing up, and it looks like the search term is for best internet marketing firms. He's in the UK. He showed up on the 2nd position by implementing this. He also, in his number 1 point here, snagged 2 clients using our Client Snag course. So, your author rank. Google understands what you write about, okay? If I'm into bird watching and I do all kinds of articles on the internet about bird watching, Google starts to understand that I know a lot about it, I'm an authority on it, and it starts to give me more influence over other people that are lesser bird watchers per se, okay? You become expert and Google knows what you're an expert in. That's what author rank is all about, all right? So doing that gets you and your clients to rank faster than the competition, meaning that if I'm an avid bird watcher and I publish all kinds of bird watching articles, Joe is not. Joe and I both published an article on bird watching the same day. I am more likely to show up at the top of the SERPs way quicker than Joe is because Google understands what I write about is credible. That's the short answer to what author rank is. It's in your Google Webmasters tools. You'll see it in there. So this is a real thing, and Google's definitely tracking this stuff. Authorship also lets Google understand what subject you're an expert in, as I just talked about, and a whole lot more, and I'm going to touch on a couple different things here. Here's a search result for my business. I'm in offline marketing, my company called Black Diamond Marketing, and this is an example of having your picture in the SERPs. Which one does the eye naturally tend towards? Of course, the one with the picture. All right, so how do you set up authorship? Here we go. First of all, you must have a Google Plus profile, and you need to have a decent headshot. If it's fuzzy, or if it's, if you're being funny, you put a picture of a banana in there, Google watches for these things. It needs to be a clear image, and you want to have a decent headshot for this, okay? And this is also, the image is going to show up in the search as the exact same one that's in your Google Plus profile. There are 3 ways to add authorship to your site. The first one is the easiest, but in my opinion, not the best. I'm going to go through all 3, and for different people, you'll choose which method is going to work best for you. All right. For the first method to work, you need to have an email address on the same domain as the content. So if my website is herald.com, I need an email, something like contact@herald.com. All right. At the end of any content that you publish, you need to put by your name, and your name needs to be the exact name that you have in your Google Plus profile. So by Harold Roscoe would go at the end of all my content. Then I would go over to Google, and I go to that URL, you can write it down, and on that page you'll see a spot to submit your email address. They're going to send a verification email, bada bing, bada boom, you're set up with Google authorship. Now this is fast, it gets the job done, but what I don't like about it is it's not hard-coded. And by hard-coded, it doesn't rely on specific string of code on your website to make sure that these things are happening, okay? So if you're the least bit technical and you want to get authorship set up, start with number 1. Method number 2 is better, okay? You want to put this link to your Google Plus profile in the coding on your website. So here's the long link that will go in the code. You will see where it says profile URL in brackets there. You go over to your Google Plus profile. You'd copy it. I have it highlighted there. You'd paste that in where it says profile URL. Do not include the little square brackets I have there. Paste that in. Over on the right side here, this is what's called the anchor text. You can put whatever you want there, and these are the words that are actually going to appear on your website. So you can put something like visit us on Google Plus, or visit my Google Plus profile, whatever you want. You're going to put this coding, and it needs to be on every page of your website, okay? Once you've done this, you need to add what's called a reciprocal link to your profile in the contributor section of your your Google Plus profile. So this is what your Google Plus profile looks like down towards the bottom. If you click the edit button, you'll see there's a contributor to. You just click that. There's a spot to put the URL in, and there's a spot to put the name of it. So you can call it whatever you'd like. Once that's done, you're all set up, okay? You're all set up with authorship. There's one more step you can do, and I'll show you that in a second, but that sets you up. Step number 3, or method number 3, this is my favorite, and we actually have a custom WordPress plugin that we have in the G Plus Pro website. So if you're a WordPress user, we've got a really simple way to install authorship. But this is the method that it uses, and this is my favorite way. You're going to put a special link in the head portion of your website. And the reason this works so well is most websites now, you can edit one document. So for an example, on a WordPress site, it'd be a PHP file, or other websites do similar. You can edit this once, and by putting it at the head, this piece of code is going to appear on every single page on your website. So here's the code. It's similar to the other one. There's no anchor text in this one. That's the main difference. Again, you're going to go to where it says profile URL, and you're going to paste in your Google Plus profile URL. You're going to save that somewhere in between the open head and close head portion of the coding of your website, and you're done. Okay, you have your authorship set up. So no matter which method you use, you need to test this. You need to make sure it's working, and Google provides us a great tool to do that. It's called the Rich Snippet Testing Tool. All right, I'm a big fan of testing everything I do. Okay, even when I send emails out, I make sure the links work. I always test stuff, and particularly with my client stuff, I'm very particular about everything that was working. And fortunately, when it comes to authorship, we can test this out. Here's the link to the rich snippet testing tool, or you can just simply go to Google and do a Google search for rich snippet testing tool, and you're going to go to this URL, and here's what it looks like. At the top, you're going to put in your domain name that you just set up authorship on, and you're going to click the preview button. What should happen is your Google Plus profile image should show up here, and then it's going to give you some example text of what might show up depending on the page that's showing up in the URL. So the rich snippet information here is going to change depending on, of course, which page is showing up, and the text here is going to reflect that page. What you really are looking for is under the author tag, this green box that says verified. You see the green box? You're all good. Here are your links. If the box is red, something's wrong. And if something's wrong, you need to fix it. They're going to give you some hints and clues as to what is wrong. Oftentimes, you have pasted the wrong URL in. Most often what I find with people that I've helped with and they've had an issue is that they didn't go into their Google Plus profile and add the reciprocal link. That's a key part of the equation. By adding it on your Google Plus profile, it links back to your page, and that tells Google that you in fact are the author of that website. So I'm just going to pause here. Joe, I don't know if you've been watching the questions. Is there anything of note to come out on authorship? Any specific questions on it?
All right, I'm unmuted.
Okay.
There's a few people are having some questions with the where does the code go? Do you have to put it on each page?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the code needs to be on every single page of your website. That is why using, let me go back here, method number 3 works so well, is that you can do this in the footer too, by the way. But if you put it in the head section, if your website is such that you can edit one document or one file for the website, i.e. the header section or maybe the footer section, by doing that, when your website publishes on the web, it's automatically going to put that code in every single page for you. So this code needs to be on every single page, but by putting it in just the head section, if your website is set up this way, you only have to put it in once. If your website is not set up that way, you're going to need to put this code on every single page of your website. It's a bit of a pain, but it's a one-time thing. So it definitely needs to be on every page of your website. I hope that answers that question. Any other ones, Joe?
Yes, we got one where what do you do if you're managing authorship for a third party?
Okay, so if you're managing authorship, the third party, of course, is going to have their own Google Plus profile. And you're going to need access to their website. There's no other way around it. Well, there is a way around it. You can use method number 1. But again, I very rarely recommend method number 1. You want to hard code this in, and you want to make sure it's working all the time. So if you're managing it for somebody else, you're going to need access. Or if they have a web developer, you can get it over to that web developer and say, hey, I need this code put here. And you can do it that way. Oftentimes, that is the easiest way. If you do have a web designer or a web developer you work with, just give him or her the code and tell them where you need it, and they'll get it to the right place.
And then we have a lot of questions on this topic here. Kind of just go through these really fast, and then we'll continue on.
Sure.
Where's it at? If you have a mobile site set on an m.domain, will the authorship transfer to the mobile site as well?
If the mobile site is serving mobile versions of your regular website, my answer is most likely. It depends on the software. Maybe it's a WordPress plugin you're using. It depends on how you're transcribing your website into a mobile version. And without knowing the exact details, I couldn't say for sure. But all you need to do is take that m.domain, go over to the rich snippet testing tool, pop it in there, see if it works. If it doesn't, then you need to figure out what the issue is. And if it does, then you're all set.
And then we have this last one, and then we'll continue on with the presentation, and we'll get all the questions at the end. Larry asks, if working in different niches, do you need a separate Google Plus profile for each niche?
Absolutely not. The only time you do separate profiles, in my opinion, is with different clients. You want each client to have, if you're an offline marketer, you'd have their own profiles. But you can have one Google Plus account and you can become the author for all kind of niches. So I talked about bird watching. Maybe you're a skier. Maybe you're an avid book reader and you do that. Maybe, you know, the niche possibilities go on and on and on. You want to take credit for being a person that knows a lot about each of those niches that you write about. So you can do it all under the roof of one Google Plus account.
Awesome.
All right, well, we'll carry on. As Joe said, we will hang out after this webinar for basically as long as you want. If you guys got questions on it, I'm happy to help you out, and I'll answer questions, and Joe will answer questions on anything Google Plus related. And of course, we can go over the authorship as well. Okay. So that is the first thing you need to do. And seriously, if you do one thing, that's it. In fact, we've had people on webinars set up their authorship before the end of the webinar. Okay. So the question is, when will you add authorship? Do you think it would be a good idea to get authorship set up right away? Of course it is, okay? This is something that you need to take some time to do. Whether you move forward with us in the future or not, you need to have authorship set up as an online marketer in any capacity. If you're publishing content, this needs to be done. And I hope that you've gotten an idea of how to make this happen. Mark's going to have a replay for you guys, so you can certainly go back. You can check out this segment of the webinar again, and you can follow the steps later today or tomorrow and get this set up for yourself. So your new Google Plus reality. So everything moving forward here are things that are now possible because you have your authorship set up. And the reason I have this in here is I want you to really start to gain the big picture. Joe showed us some results and things that people are doing with Google+. I want to show you what's possible, and these are things you can start doing right away. Okay? With authorship set up, you can easily start getting first page rankings, something called instant page one rankings. If you go to google.com, in the top right-hand corner, once you've done a search, you will see a little icon of a world and a little gray dude, I like to call it, okay? And by default, the little gray dude is selected, and we call it search plus your world, and that's on automatically. When you do a search and you're logged into your Gmail account, which most of us are when we search, okay, it's going to serve up results from around the world, but it's also going to serve up results relevant to you. And what's relevant to you? People that are in your Google Plus account, that are following you, that are in your circle. So you get direct influence on the search engines by having authorship set up next to your content. And we have a lot of training that in our members area. You can use Google Circles to build the most highly and responsive following you've ever had. Okay, this is no joke. We have something called G+ List Builder Pro. Joe, we didn't have this queued up, but we have a PDF document of it, and I think we'll make that available for everyone today on the replay. We'll make sure we get the link to Mark so he can send it out to you guys. But the short on G+ List Builder Pro, or using Circles to build the most responsive following you've ever had, is there's a method inside Google+, and I haven't yet seen anybody else do this, that you can start getting followers to your content. Of course, it's important to publish great content. That's important of anything you do online. There's a way to get these people to follow you, that you can add them into your Google Circles, and that they are going to get an email notification. They are going to get a post to their live stream, and they're going to get a little notification, that little red box in the top right-hand corner of your Gmail or your Google+. They're going to get a notification there every time you post content. 3 different places, and it's guaranteed because it's Google to Google. It's not going through email servers, okay? So watch for that. I want to make that available for everyone on the line tonight, the List Builder Pro. And it's something that I highly recommend you implement. You can also implement that for clients. Google now knows the topics that you are an expert in and will give you the appropriate Google love. This is going to reward you over and over and over, okay? And here's how it works. This is something I call the Google brain. This gets a bit technical. If I lose you here, don't worry. Just try to take the big picture of it. But I'm a very technical, analytical person, and I like to know how things work. So for everyone on the line that likes to know the specifics on how things work, this is the inside scoop on authorship and how Google is now working moving forward, okay? So Google knows the content you publish. Let's go back to the bird watching things, okay? Let's say I'm a big bird watcher and I publish all kinds of content on bird watching, and I have my authorship set up. Google knows that I'm a I'm the bird watching expert from Canada. Okay, I'm that guy in Google's eyes. Google also knows who is plus oneing your content. So a plus one, you're probably starting to see those all across the internet. A plus one is very similar to a Facebook like. It's Google's version of it, okay? So Google knows who's reading my bird watching content, and it also knows who's plus oneing that content. Every plus one has to come from a Google Plus profile. You can't plus one content without being logged into your Google profile, okay? Now here's where it starts to get really cool. Not all plus ones are created equal, okay? I'm a big bird watcher, Joe is not, and let's say Mark also is a big bird watcher. I published an article today. Joe reads it, Mark reads it. They both like it. Joe plus ones it, Mark plus ones it, okay? This is what we're calling a social backlink. The weight of that social backlink is dependent on what Google knows what you know a lot about. Joe does not know a lot about bird watching. Mark does. Mark gives me a higher weighted social backlink than Joe does. If I get more other avid bird watchers to plus one my content, I get better results. This is the new backlink of Google and of the internet. Google has been backing out of backlinks, no pun intended there, for a while. They just, enabled that disavow. Am I pronouncing it, Joe? Right? Anyways, you can go in now with your Webmasters tool and you can get rid of the backlinks you don't like that point to your website, because Google knows for a while there people were gaming it. You went to Fiverr, you bought 10,000 backlinks, you got better SEO. They don't want that anymore. It's how they built their search engine, but it allows people to game it. By making sure that every single person that plus ones your content or gives you a social backlink has to have a Google Plus profile, they understand the specific person that the plus one is coming from. And that's the social backlinking weight, all right? Your authorship status rises based on the content you publish and the plus ones you get. I hope the Google light bulb is starting to come on for you guys and understanding the importance of it. Again, you need to get your authorship set up, all right? Here's a couple other cool things you can do with Google+. You can find perfect clients for your offline marketing business using just Google+. I was cruising around today looking for some mobile customers, going to various Google+ local profiles and doing some searches just in my Google+ account for local businesses, adding them to my circles and making initial contact with them. It's great. And in fact, as Joe mentioned earlier, we have a whole client snag course on that. When you publish brand new websites, you can now skip the 1 to 3 month aging period. It used to be that when you published a new website, you kind of had to let it, soak in the sun for a little bit, let Google start to understand what the content was about, let it understand that you were real. Well, by tying your previously established authorship and author rank to a new website, it speeds that up incredibly, because Google knows who's behind the website. They know what you're creditable in, and they know where it's coming from. Okay, so you can speed that whole process up. And most importantly, for those that are offline marketers, you have an entire new line of services to offer your past, current, and future clients. Okay, a quick side story here. Last spring, I woke up one day, went to work. By work, I mean my office, and I discovered that overnight Google had taken Google Places and they moved it into Google Plus Local. So they moved Google Places into Google Plus in one night. At first, I panicked. What's going on here? Is the sky falling? And I realized, no, it's just part of their, long-term strategy. I thought about it for a while. I made a quick video, and I showed some examples of what was happening. I made this video for all my current clients and my past clients. I sent the video out in an email, and my phone started ringing later that day with my past clients and current clients saying, hey, what's this going on? Does this affect my listing? And I got a bunch of new business from past and current clients to help them transition over to this, okay? This is a strategy you could do tomorrow. If you have past and current clients, you can make them aware of what's going on with Google+. And the big reason why this works so well for me is I'm piggybacking on Google. Everybody knows Google. They're the ultimate internet authority. Google sneezes, people want to know. And as marketers, we are the experts. The online marketers, we are the experts, and our clients want to know this stuff and they want to keep up with Google. Okay, so all this Google Plus stuff is very marketable and provides great services you can give to your offline clients. And really, this is just the beginning. There's all kinds of great ideas. People are popping up with them all the time of really, really cool stuff that you can do with Google+. And in my opinion, it's sort of leveled the playing field of online search and online marketing. It's going to start getting skewed again as people start really building up author rank, I think, moving forward. But right now, it's a really nice, smooth playing field. And those that jump on this Google+ train early, I believe are going to be able to take some of the biggest benefits back with them. So as the little guy here in the picture says, it's time to strap yourself on to the G+ rocket. Okay, if I can't say it enough. If you're not using it, you need to start getting on board with Google+. All right, Joe, I will stop there. I'm gonna pass the controls back to you. And if there's any sort of really pertinent questions, I'm happy to answer those right now. And then towards the end, of course, everyone we'll get all your questions answered.
Okay.
There you go. Start
All
the
right.
reins.
Hey, I just wanted to say something with regards to
All right, folks.
with regards to the authorship, and the ability to make money on it. How many of you guys are offliners in here? How many in here? I mean, it should be pretty much everybody. Okay, people are starting to wake up. There we go. Yes, sit up from your keyboard. So practically everybody in here is an offliner. And whether or not you have the website client or not, you could make like some real quick cash on selling someone just the authorship. Because literally, like, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do the first time you see it, and we all have some sort of an idea of of what Harold was covering, but the average person would never be able to add authorship to their site. They would have to have some sort of professional do it for them. And $500, $1,000 for something simple like that, it takes you like an hour or less, actually, if you have like a plugin or something. Boom. And I can tell you from experience that actually, Joe, I didn't even tell you this, but that day that you sat down and showed me that, that actually saved one of my customers that pays me $1,100 a month. I mean, I don't know how much more money I'm going to be bringing in because of that. So, I want to say thanks for that, because that one little authorship trick that you showed me, I called my customer, like it took like 4 or 5 days for it to show up. And I called him up and said, hey, Google, your keyword. And when he Googled his keyword and saw that, and that he had something nobody else on the first page of Google had, he was blown away, and he realized that, I was on the cutting edge. So thanks again.
You're welcome. Absolutely. It's like you were saying, there was a little bit of a little line of code or whatever that was a little messed up, if I remember properly. And it's something that's that easy to mess up, but when you do it properly, it's a home run, right? And you're absolutely welcome, man. That's
It was
good to
actually
hear. I'm
kind
glad
of
you
funny,
shared that.
guys. Okay, I am not Mr. Techie, so I'm sitting here banging my head against my keyboard, trying literally for over an hour. This is no joke. And then Joe sends me a message, and I knew that he knew, but I didn't want to send him a message. It's kind of like, when you get lost, you don't want to ask for directions. So I was like, as soon as he hit me up, I was like, hey, Joe, how's it going? And literally like 2 minutes after you showed me just a couple things I was doing wrong, I was off to the races. So huge difference when you actually know what you're doing versus just, and I mean, and that's something as simple as authorship. And I'm pretty Google savvy. I thought I can Google my way through anything, and that was a little bit of a of a nightmare.
Well, once we got you fixed up, quickly, and that's the good part. And man, $1,100 a month client, that's a good save. So, what do you guys think of that you guys just learned about? What do you think about the authorship thing? What do you think about the domino effect that creates? I want to hear you guys' answers. Hear you guys' thoughts on this. So far, where we are right now, super, very important. Awesome information. Exciting, very timely. Thank you, Mark. Or Michael, I'm sorry. Very cool, says David. Awesome, says Francois. I hope I'm saying that right. Dr. Keith, kick a beefcake. Awesome. Very informative. Awesome, guys. And that's what we really wanted to do. I know it gets a little kind of dry when we start talking about codes and put it in here and put it in there, that kind of thing. But if you guys muscled through that part, it is seriously the most important thing, in my opinion, for you to do in 2013. Why is that? Because most people aren't familiar with this. Only the really savvy SEO guys and internet guys are doing this authorship thing. Imagine what 6 months, imagine what a year and a half of a head start of you plugging into Google Plus and following our very simple videos, very simple instruction, what that can do for you. Folks, we're talking about building an asset of you within Google. It's not just another website, it's you. Like when Harold says, you can go out and touch anything. And if you author rank is legit in multiple different fields, that's one of the main questions that we get a bunch of times. Set up one profile. A profile has to be set up on a person, not a business, and create sub-pages under that one main profile. It's not a problem, guys. You can create as many of these pages as you want. Each page takes about 5 minutes to set up. It's drop dead simple, and you're off and running, building your author rank and commanding higher prices, getting bigger traffic, getting that following that I was talking about. So are you guys ready to take control of your business like never before? And I know that's a very bold statement because Mark comes out with amazing stuff, and I know there's other guys out there, you know, the LinkedIn master, our buddy Will. He does amazing stuff. But guys, you cannot overlook Google in your business. That's the #1 fatal flaw. If you think that this isn't important, let me just say my conscience is clear because we showed you that it completely is. So are you guys ready to blow it up like Kyle did, like Carol did, like Rebecca did, like Akeem did, and all the many other people that we didn't have an opportunity to show you guys today because we're on a bit of a time crunch? Because now it's really up to you guys. We've shown you the importance. We've shown how to get more clients, how to get more traffic, build the following, charge higher prices for your services, and a whole lot more. We're barely scratching the surface. We only have an hour here with you guys. We don't have, you know, all day. And I hope we deliver that message because this is powerful. The question is, are you going to let this opportunity slip by? Are you going to grab it by the horns and be, again, one of our main success stories, one of our next success stories? And here's the offer that we have for you guys today. Here's what you get when you join us today. You're going to get our core foundation video training. This is like 18 videos, something like that. When I say it, when I don't know the exact number, it's because we're updating them. And some drop off, some are added. Like when Google Plus Communities was added, of course we did a new video on Google Plus Communities. This is the foundation. This is getting your authorship set up. This is getting your profile properly set up. This is getting things linked together properly. This is building a solid foundation that, unless you really screw it up within Google, and what I mean by that is like you go above and beyond and you become a spammer and you basically, you know, tick everybody off at you, that's really the only way you can kind of mess this up. You really have to be, you know, you have to be kind of out of your mind and go above and beyond to get blacklisted. Then we have our advanced Google Plus training videos. Guys, one of our friends is the top, like a top 10 SEO in the world, and that's, I know that's, again, that's a crazy statement, but what this guy knows is mind-blowing. And we showed him some of our advanced strategies, and he was really mad that he didn't think of them first. Like, he prides himself on being the first guy to come to the show with, you know, amazing ideas. This training alone right here is responsible for Carol, for Kyle, for Rebecca, really taking it to that next level. You know, Harold was talking about that domino effect. Well, the dominoes really start to fall, and they start to fall fast when you get into this advanced training. Then we have our plugin for people that are freaked out by the coding thing on your authorship. How about a three-step process? Copy, paste, and click, click done or submit, whatever it says in the plugin, and you're done, guys. 100% done, set up properly every single time. None of your authorship, none of your content, I should say, is slipping through the cracks. Then we have our client snag method. We mentioned this a few times. This is a proprietary method that we came up with utilizing Google Plus, and I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We utilize Google Events, guys. So everything is done in there. Everything is free in there. And by free, I mean you're not spending any additional monies to get to prospect. You prospect inside of Google Plus the entire time. I know we like bonuses, right? Everybody loves bonuses. We're going to give you guys some cool stuff. We're going to give you guys access to our community. Now, this isn't a community where everybody gets approved in. We have a selection process where we look you guys up. We say, okay, should this person be a part of the community? Is he a member? And we protect this community because it's active. People are in there asking questions. People are in there answering questions. People are posting awesome new articles, the latest and greatest on Google Plus, or the latest and greatest on prospecting, or how to most efficiently use Google Maps for a local business. I mean, it's unbelievable the information that goes in there. It's almost like a news aggregator, so to speak, to where you go in there and people are always posting awesome stuff. Now, we watch that thing like a hawk. People aren't spamming. People aren't dropping in links. You're never going to get hit for any offers or none of that crap, guys. This is an awesome group, and I'm happy to be a founder of it. I'm really proud of that. And then we have a second bonus, live Google Plus Hangout training sessions. We're starting to do these. We're trying to get them done once a week, if not, up to at least 3 times a month. I know it says 2 to 4 times a month there, but we really want to interact more on a weekly basis. Folks, jump on Google Plus Hangouts. Jump on Google Plus. Let's fire up a Hangout, and let's hang out for 30 minutes a week, taking you by the hand, helping you get those questions answered, really doing our best to ensure the most success that you can have with this. If there's any little hang-up, that's the place, that's the forum to get that knocked out for you. And then we have additional bonuses. I know Google Plus Local is huge. It's a big money maker. It's made a lot of money for Mark, Harold, and myself. And what we did here, guys, is we did a live webinar from scratch. Nothing is left out. We're talking how to find a business, how to go in, how to do keyword research, every single thing, setting it up. It's a real business. Harold's working with this. It's his local coffee shop up where he lives. And the cool thing about this, it's an ongoing case study, and the cool thing about it, guys, is it didn't go smoothly. There was problems. Google was screwing around. There was some issues getting the thing verified properly. It would show up. It would go off. So it's a real-world case study where we go in and we say, okay, here's what happened. Here's how we fixed it, and here's the result. So it's live, ongoing, and it's not a perfect world example. There was some issues with it. Folks, you get all that, and for all that and much more for a one-time investment of $249. And I use the word investment because this is really an investment in you. This isn't a knockoff thing. This isn't anything rehashed. This isn't just, a one-trick pony software. Folks, we're talking about basically cracking Google. And the way you do that is you use their social network. They're not going to slap their social network. Again, you have to be you kind of have to go crazy to screw this up. And let me just answer this real fast. There's no OTOs. I know sometimes people ask that, and there's no OTOs, guys.
I just want to say, because I've been watching the comments for like the last hour, people have been saying, okay, this is going to cost me like $5,000. Like that should show you right away, before you even talked about how much something like this would cost, that people were thinking that this was going to cost them thousands because of the ability and because of the case studies and because of the results that you showed up in the beginning of this webinar. So, I mean, that's valuable.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag a little too early there.
I know.
You know what I mean? I like to keep it a surprise, and the way we keep it this price point, folks, is because we really want to get as many people in as we can. And if we do it too low, then the riffraff comes in, and we want to keep our community positive. We want to keep our people happy. We want the success stories to continue in. There's so many additional stories that we didn't even have time to cover today. And for instance, there's this guy, Bradley, that he's really active in our community. And he's created he's taken this and ran. He's created like a whole different network and like prospecting thing that he's creating. He's going to share it with us here coming up. But he's the foundation of his new venture. Basically, was our membership. He didn't have the time to go out and learn all the Google Plus stuff. You know what I mean? Like, who does? He plugs in, knocks it out. I think he's actually exceeded Kyle when it comes to the first guy we talked about in the case study in terms of money within like the first 30 to 60 days. It's pretty amazing. Now I do want to give a quick little FTC disclaimer, so we keep everything legal here. Folks, the case studies that you guys saw and that we talked about, and the money and the different results that our people were getting, those are, I guess, not typical, if you were supposed to say that. Obviously, they're doable, and the reason I really highlighted those folks' background was to show you that if they can do it, it's possible to do it. And the reason I say not typical is because I don't know who you are. I don't know if you like to actually follow the videos. I don't know if you buy stuff and leave it on the shelf. I don't know you personally. But if you're kind of the person that's coachable, that likes to learn, that likes helping local businesses, that really likes earning money, folks, it's doable. And it's this time will never come again. There's not going to be a Google Plus 2.
If you are having some issues getting to the site, we are experiencing a lot of traffic right now. So I guess Harold is on it. So just give it a second. We had a couple people.
Yeah, we'll be up in a second here. Hang tight, everyone.
Sorry,
if you're having
guys.
trouble getting in, it'll be
Crash the
fixed.
server,
Yeah, we crashed the server.
Yeah,
we go.
we got you guys. We have Mark's. Mark's going to do his stuff, and then Harold and I are actually going to be giving away a couple free memberships tonight as well. So you guys crashed the servers, and you guys were a great audience. You guys are a responsive lot, which is awesome. Yeah, Henry, it works all over the country, all over the world. Henry asked a question, our client snack method, and all these methods basically, do they work in all over the world? And they do. For instance, Kyle is from Australia. Hakeem is from the UK, the guy that Harold showed. He's from the UK. Harold's from Canada, so obviously works in Canada, obviously works in America. And then we have people in some Asian countries, like Southeast Asia, like Singapore, like you were saying there. I think his name is David or Henry, right? So, yeah, it works all over the place. Now, let's get to.
I'm just going to jump in really quick. It's back up, everyone. If you refresh, just give it a second to load.
Actually, instead of refreshing, click the link again.
Or click the link.
Because if you refresh, it actually errors out. I did a refresh, but yeah, click the link again, or put in the full link again. And for those of you that are hanging out, also too, I'm going to still come back and talk about my little giveaway for you. So be patient.
I'm going to touch on the client snake course. It seems to be one of the big questions we've gotten tonight is about getting clients. And I know when I started my offline marketing business, that was, if you don't have clients, you don't really have a business. And so as we were developing all this Google Plus stuff, I sort of set out to find a way that I could use Google Plus. I figured there had to be a way. Everyone's using LinkedIn and Facebook to get clients. There had to be a Google way to do it. And that's how the Client Snake course came to be. We were initially going to do this as a WSO, but it just evolved. We never did do it as a WSO. It's just in our Google Plus website. And it uses just Google Plus. I implemented it over the course of a week. That's about how long it takes. You can do it over 1 to 2 weeks. At the end of it, I walked away. This is the first time doing it. I walked away with an accountant in British Columbia where I live who needed a website. Basically, he called me up for a website. I sent him back one of my marketing proposals, which we have copies of in G Plus Pro. I said, yeah, you need a website, but you also need something called Google Plus Local, and I educated him on that. And I said, well, you also need a mobile website, and you need some SEO because you want your website to show up on the first page. And he bought all of that. He bought the full boat. What's even more interesting, and Joe, I don't think I've mentioned this to you, is because this person is an accountant, they're what we call sort of a center of influence. This guy knows all kinds of business owners. I've been getting calls, referrals from him for the work I did for him for other people. So there is a way you can use Google Plus to get clients. Anybody can do it. It takes a bit of work. It's not a red one-click button wonder, but it's very implementable. And in over the next 2 weeks, there's no reason why you couldn't land a couple clients with it.
Awesome. I want to give away the first membership now, and this is going to come to, I need a first name and a last name, okay? And I need proper spelling. The reason I say that is because I've asked this question before in the past, and, whoa, what's going on? See, the question box is going crazy. I'm going to ask a question, and I need the first name spelled properly and the last name spelled properly. The reason I did that is because the last name is a little tricky. It's easily kind of messed up, I guess. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, first person I see that pops this name in, almost Clive, close, but no cigar. Who is the person that's responsible for the design of Google.com? Who is the person that's responsible for the design of Google.com? And what I mean by that is this simplistic, just the little search bar. I see a lot of names coming in and nobody's got it. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I'll give you guys a hint. Oh, we got it. All right, we got Terry Bork. And you spelled it properly, Terry. So Terry, what we'll do, Harold, if you can type to Terry, give her our email. Yeah, take care of her, folks. The answer was Marissa Mayer. She's now the Yahoo CEO, and she's a great lady. She actually got hired to be Yahoo CEO while she was pregnant, which that says a lot about how far we're coming, I guess, as a culture. Because she's obviously she's awesome, but she's the sole person that made Google.com the simple little thing that you search. You type your word in and you search. Now, if you look at MSN and Yahoo, everything's kind of confused and cluttered and stuff. She's ahead of her time, Mark. I got to tell you.
I'm Googling her right now.
She's not bad to look at either.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I expected like a older lady, or something. Oh. Wow.
She's like 38, 37, 38. Her first job was Google.
I think I went to school with her.
Her first job was Google, and now she's the CEO of Yahoo. Awesome. All right, we're gonna do one more. I need to come up with a question though. Let me think of a question. Do you have anything to say? Anything to add?
Who, me?
Anybody? Harold, any questions or anything that you need to answer or anything?
No, do the draw, then let's get into a Q&A.
All right.
And so I start typing your questions in after, I guess we do this, and then I'll be happy to answer questions.
Okay. Let me think. All right, I'm going to ask Julie. All right, here's a question. Yeah, Julie. All right. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the all right, the guarantee. Bob's asking for the guarantee if we have a guarantee. Bob, what we do is we do it on a case-by-case basis because there's software back there. Everything it's back there. It works. And so if you have an issue, we try to work with you through the issue. And if we can't come to an agreement, then we'll refund your money. What I can tell you is we have had like 3 or 4 refunds, and we have many hundreds of members. So we know it works. And if it just becomes a thing to where it's not a good fit for you, then, we can discuss it. So I hope that answers your question, Bob. It's on a case-by-case basis. Cool. And I appreciate the fair enough part, because we're trying to be as transparent as possible. We're not, pulling the curtains over anybody's eyes here. Julie, I have to switch the question now, because I don't want you to forfeit yourself. Let's see. That was a good question, by the way. The question I was going to ask, Julie, was where does PageRank come from? Of course, it comes from Larry Page, the last name of Google co-founder. Exactly. So that would have been a lot easier for people to get. I'm having problems coming up with a question here.
Go ahead and type any questions you'd like right now while Joe's doing some brainstorming on the next one. If you have any questions about authorship that we covered, if you have any questions about Google+, implementing it, selling it to your clients, whatever you'd like, let me know. If you have already purchased and you get the question right, we'll take care of you. Don't worry about that. So it's a free membership either way. Even if you already paid, we'll get you back on it. So feel free to answer. A bunch of people asking that.
Yeah, so if you guys have joined, type your name in and let us welcome you aboard.
We got a bunch of suggestions for questions. You do realize by suggesting a question.
Yeah.
Here's a good question from David. Can Google Plus help in building an MLM online? Yes, because I can tell you in our case studies, Carol, she's in a direct sales MLM type business, and that's what she's using it for. So there's lots of people doing that, and actually that's a good way to differentiate yourself from a lot of other MLMers out there, because it seems that they kind of run in flocks doing the same thing. So it's a good way to differentiate yourself from the pack. Let's see. Where do we find the search graph in Google profiles? Do you mean ripples? Is that what they're talking about? I'll come back to that one, Patrick.
Probably. That's the closest thing.
Okay. How do you add authorship to a separate HTML mobile website? So how I cover doing authorship tonight is a manual way to do it. You can do that on any single website. You just drop the code into it in the appropriate place, and it's going to work for you. If you're talking about Google Ripples, which is sort of their analytical data on posts, in the top right-hand corner of any post, you'll see a little drop-down arrow, and if you click on that, if it has been shared publicly, you'll see a thing that says Google Ripples, and you can go to it, okay? We'll come down some more. Let's see. Please answer my question about multiple sites in the same niche. My experience as Google doesn't look favorably upon it. I don't know what your original question was. So I can sort of guess here. Having multiple sites in the same niche. Well, you're right. Google doesn't want you to publish the same thing over and over and over again. Something that's interesting about authorship is when you publish content on the web and you become the author of it, and somebody else comes along and rips it off and pastes it on their website as duplicate content, they know it's duplicate, and they know you're the original author of it. And you don't get penalized for other people having copied your content. If you're going to do multiple websites in one niche, make sure they're different. Make sure the content is different. Okay? There's some grayer hat things I guess you can start doing if you're concerned about Google finding out who you are. You know, maybe what's not gray hat is not putting them in the same profile if you're concerned. But you can, you know, what you do with it obviously is up to you. My suggestion is to have, you can have multiple websites, just make sure the content's all very different and it's providing value to your visitors. That's the big thing, is providing good content and value to your visitors. All right, let's see. Get some more questions.
Are you looking for a question, Joe, for the trivia?
I am. I am,
like,
dude.
Everybody can see your screen.
Oh, yeah?
So that makes it really
good.
great. So this is an open book question.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
I have
open
one,
book, exactly.
and it's not really about
Go ahead.
Google, but it's kind of about Google. If you don't mind
Okay.
me, I'll give you one.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I don't even know the answer, but I'm sure somebody here does. You ready? So there's a
Okay.
movie that's out right now, and it's like about life at Google, basically. Has anybody seen that? The previews for that?
I'm
Great,
Googling it
nobody.
right now.
What's the name of that movie? And when does it come
Google.
out? Because I want to know.
I totally had I was looking for something on Wiki. Like, I know the question that I wanted to ask, but I didn't know the answer.
It came out, Life in a Day. That was Tom Omus. And he didn't have the time. Ook. So you have to have both the date and the name.
A plus life, someone suggested. That's funny.
It's a plus life. Hey, he got it. Tom got it. November 1st. Actually, no, that's not it. It hasn't come out yet. I guess nobody knows about it.
What's it called?
I thought somebody had it right. It's called Life in a Day. It hasn't come out yet. Oh, it was released on the internet. Okay, I guess that's a fail because I don't know for sure.
Let's see.
Look at all these Google results getting pasted in here. This is hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna.
I think this is it. I think Pat got it, but he didn't get the date. I'll tell you. Let me just double check it. Yep, that's it. Pat, when does it come out? Not according to my records. Yep, Pat, you're still wrong on the date. But actually, somebody else got it. Who was the first person to say it? The internship.
Everybody's gonna say me, Mark.
No, I'm just looking here. Hold on a second. It was on July 7th, right? So who was the first person to say that? You guys could see the questions.
Let's see.
I'm scrolling up through the list really fast.
Yeah, they're like it's like rapid fire.
I think it's Michael. June 7th, sorry. Michael Goodwin. Nope, sorry. E. Measy. E. Measy said it.
I could have asked a question about the Oscars. It would
Yeah.
have been a total. It would have been a total. My question would have been, who should have won
Me.
Best Supporting Actor?
I should have won, but I gave up my acting career.
Awesome. Tommy Lee Jones, Larry. I thought Alan Arkin was awesome in Argo. He stole every scene. If you guys haven't seen Argo, it's a really great movie.
Okay, so for everybody else, now you got the link back up for to buy. I guess E is the person who won that. I don't know his actual full name or her full name.
Okay. I will look through for that answer.
E. Measy.
E. Measy.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
Exactly, Larry.
do you guys have any more questions?
Son.
Because I wanna make something available for everybody that's been hanging out. First off, don't wait on this. Grab a copy of this, and I'll tell you what. I've actually gone through this. I've had access to it now for, I don't know, almost a month, and it's literally chock full of content. And on top of that, besides all the stuff that you guys have, shown, it seems like it keeps growing. Have you been adding stuff to this?
Always.
Okay.
Like, for instance, there's a new search tool, or a new I want to say a research tool that most people have no idea what it is. In Google, Harold, I should say, mentioned it just a second ago. It's called Google Plus Ripples, and it's a crazy tool that it allows you to basically map how viral each piece of your content is. How many times it was +1, how many times it was shared, who shared it, who did this, who did that. So the implications of what you're ultimately able to do with that kind of tool is unbelievable. And they have this thing called What's Hot and Recommended. It's basically like what's trending amazingly in Google Plus, like the trending, how to get there. It has things called like influencers. So you can contact influencers like this guy is the man, or this girl is the go-to gal in this field kind of thing. And so yeah, that was the most recent one we put in there. And we're always adding new stuff, man. It's like I said, over the past 12 weeks, Google Plus has been their employees, their engineers must not be sleeping because they're coming out with so much new stuff. It seems like weekly. Yes, Rhonda, it's called Google Plus Ripples.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Yeah, ripples. Like in the water.
Got it. So, there's the link, guys. Go ahead and grab it. For those of you that are here, do you guys have anything else for us? Before I...
No.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to say thank you very much again for coming out today, and definitely some awesome content for those of us that are I'm still learning Google Plus. Everybody, please say thank you to Joe and to Harold for stopping by today and giving us such great content. Okay, so for those of you that were here and are wanting to get a copy of the GP Tracker Pro software, can you just let me know if you are interested in getting a copy of that? I just want to make sure here. Yes? Okay, a few people. Some people said very interested. All right, great. Okay, so we all love free stuff. Well, this is what I'm going to do because we have way, way more than 100 people here, and I said I was going to give away 100 copies. I'm going to first, actually, let me go ahead and stop the recording.